What you're looking at here is, if you believe that we're moving, Silicon Valley would exist in the way it does today, had NASDAQ not have broken off from the New York Stock Exchange, that gives a mechanism for investors to get liquidity and get their money back. In Australia, that doesn't exist. You kind of, yes, there are some angel networks forming, which is great. VC, we've talked about, is on the brink of collapse. Private equity, there's Macquarie Bank, and they do a fine job. But even at the ASX level, there's not the analyst infrastructure to help the retail investor really assess risk, which translates to lower trading volumes, which
So Silicon Valley took about 80 years to create. Innovation isn't that eureka idea that you walk out with and immediately it works. It's the idea that you have to methodically test and try until you finally get to the right answer.
There's nothing like a red stick in the green. Coloured red stick.
I think the artist's blood is usually on the floor, actually, not on the palette.
What are we going to talk about today?
Well, some doctors just are not interested.
NGV director Tony Elwood told us recently his focus was going to be much more on contemporary art. So right on cue, the NGV's Ian Potter Centre at Fed Square is staging a summer show negotiating this world to showcase 101... Ian Potter Centre at Fed Square is staging a summer show negotiating this world to showcase 101 works from the collection. This exhibition brings together art from the NGV collection acquired through the Victorian Foundation for Living Australian Artists. We talked with curator Jane Devery and one of the selected artists, the much-travelled Sally Smart.
The NGV's exhibition on contemporary works, and Sally's got a whole wall to herself. Can you talk to us a bit about the pirates?
The work is called The Exquisite Pirate, and it's based on a whole series of work that I did under that title, The Exquisite Pirate. I think it might be Exquisite Pirate Oceania, this one in particular. The Exquisite Pirate project really started in around 2000. The American poet, punk, writer, performer had actually, who not long before had written, before she died of cancer actually, she'd done a screening, or a performance actually, in Melbourne, and I'd seen it. And that was in about 1995, and that was called Pussy King of the Pirates. And that was, you know, the most fabulous book. And then
as a construction, but it also has a magnificent scale to it. So I presume it was designed initially for a place like this.
The guy playing chopsticks with his hemorrhoids, you know, sitting on the piano. There are a lot, like I say, I wasn't, when you don't edit yourself, things just come out that, you know.
Oh, you've definitely spent too much time in the Hollywood Hills, I think.
Well, exactly. You've been to parties, you know how they go.
Something's warming up. I'm normally only here a couple of days a week. I don't have regular consulting hours, but if anyone wants to see me, send me an email and we'll organise a time to get together. So I'm in here on Tuesday mornings for one lecture, here on Thursday afternoon, so I've normally got a couple of hours free before this lecture or a couple of hours after the other one if people want to see me. There they go. Were there other MP3 players on the market? Crappy products that had Steve Jobs' fingerprints all over them. that had failed and failed miserably. So at the time that the iPod was launched, Apple didn't have the sort of reputation for innovation, new products and what have you that they have today. So what was different about the iPod compared to what was already in the market? Now, last time I looked, Apple wasn't a music publisher, so who owned all the music? Music publishing companies. So the success of the iPod was largely based on Steve Jobs' ability to find the right partners. Apple had an extraordinarily bad recent history of new products. They had some really crap. Someone like Apple is really good at product innovation. Someone like Walmart is really good at operating excellence. And customer intimacy is, I'll give you a few examples because there's some really good examples that we have less, what would you call it? These are organisations that offer really outstanding customer engagement. You know, really great companies to deal with, where the quality of service is really high. You know, customers are treated really well, and all those sorts of things. In Australia, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of shiny examples of companies who do that. But they build their value proposition around the relationship with the customer.